what's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bosley. You can find me on Twitter at ArtisticGamer28, and that's the one, the only, Scott Savage. You can find him on Twitter at Savage. Scotty, happy Friday there, brother.
We've done it. We're at the end, and there's still news going on. No surprise there.
Dude, we got a hot show today, but where you can catch the show is over at InsideTheGame.ca, podcast services, and TV streaming networks around the globe. Dude, coming up on today's show, Kojima never really wanted to continue creating the Metal Gear series. Oh, man. That one hurt. Like, that one hurt a lot to find that one out, but we'll get into that one right at the top of the show. Halo Infinite tech test could see a delay. And so Respawn is working on another Titanfall game, maybe? What?
Ooh.
What? Question mark? We'll get into it, dude. You ready to get going? Because there's a lot to talk about today. Because Hideo Kojima didn't want to make Metal Gear to become a long-running franchise, but Konami insisted. No kidding, because it made so much money.
Yeah, they wanted another couple boatloads of cash.
Right? Absolutely. That's exactly what happened here. Metal Gear Solid music producer Rick... Oh, Scott, this is you. You got to help me out here, buddy. What do we got?
Rika Muranaka.
Nailed it. Nice. Has revealed that Hideo Kojima didn't want Metal Gear to become a long-running series or a franchise like Final Fantasy, but Konami insisted that he continue to work on it because it was a hit. We noticed, because when you get into Metal Gear Solid 5, dude, Phantom Pain, he didn't even want to create that one, but yet he did, and after that he says, I'm done, and that's why he walked away from Konami, because I guarantee you, Konami still wanted another Metal Gear to come out.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, that's probably his most often phone call inward, is Konami trying to get him to get on another one. But yeah, what about Metal Gear Resurgence, the one with...
Yeah,
Ninja Cyborg Raiden. I have a feeling it kind of started getting off the rails before Phantom Pain.
Well, yeah, right. That was a spin-off. Did he even work on that one, or was that just another team? I can't quite remember, to be honest.
I believe it was another team.
It was another team, right?
Was Metal Gear Survive
that was a disaster.
Credited to him, or?
No, that was nothing. No, that had nothing to do with Hideo. No, oh man, that thing was... That's not a Metal Gear. You tagged on the Metal Gear name is what all they did there. Hideo didn't want to do a series or franchise like Final Fantasy, he told the developer in a recent interview. So he kept fighting with Konami because Konami were like, it's a hit. That's what the business people say. Hideo, being an artist, he wanted to make different video games. But it became so successful that everybody wanted a sequel. That's the kind of hard position to be in. It becomes someone else's game, which, yeah.
That makes a lot of sense, but yeah, it became our game.
Oh, dude, man. Like, I loved it. Metal Gear 1, 2, Snake Eater, probably. Oh. I still honestly think Snake Eater is my favorite Metal Gear of all time.
Oh, I've heard that a lot, and I think I want to agree, but 2 just has that nostalgia feel to me. I think I was 8 years old playing it.
Wow, 2? Really? You're half the game. You're not even a Snake. I'm
the long-haired blonde guy, though. That was for me.
Yeah, absolutely. But because we were so successful with Metal Gear Solid, Hideo said, "Okay, we have a budget. Maybe we can hire a Hollywood composer." And well, that's when it was called up. We wanted to Media Ventures. We went to Media Ventures, now known as Remote Control Productions, which is Hans Zimmer's studio. We originally wanted to get Hans Zimmer, but he was like, no, I can't do it for that kind of money. He's so expensive, it's ridiculous. It's like, well, I think they did just fine.
Yeah, no, considering that, I've enjoyed just about every sequel to Metal Gear, except for the 2 we mentioned right at the start.
The spin-offs don't count.
No, they don't. But at this point, I would take one of them.
No, I don't want to spin. I want a remake is what I'm not one for a lot of these remakes, but for Metal Gear, it's been so long, and honestly, rest in peace, Metal Gear, because we'll never get another one like Hideo Kojima Productions. Will never work on a game, right? So we're never going to get Hideo to do another Metal Gear. I wonder if he'll ever come back to that stealth kind of espionage setting, and create something else that'd be a spin-off of his own interpretation of what basically Metal Gear was for all of us. Like, I could really I would love to see that, but clearly he's done with Metal Gear, and I think he's clearly done with this. Instead, we got Death Stranding in the director's cut now.
Yeah, Death Stranding 1 and Death Stranding 1, the sequel, and who knows what's coming next. I wonder how long he sat on those ideas for. Because when it comes to Metal Gear, I don't really know if it was Hideo's idea to make it stealth espionage, or if he's really just the guy in the background writing the anime-style script.
Sure. Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know, but every time you bring up Metal Gear, dude, you automatically go right to Hideo, right? Like, it's his. You don't even think of maybe even Konami as the main entity behind Metal Gear. You go right to the creator himself, right to Hideo Kojima, and put Metal Gear up on a pedestal. And I think a lot of people, if you come into Metal Gear now, be like, what is this? And it is, dude, a lot of it is really convoluted to say the least. But like, dude, playing on my PlayStation and getting told to unplug my controller and plug it into the next slot, or they're reading off my memory card, like, it was just,
that was the greatest. I see you really enjoy Tony Hawk Underground.
Right? Like, it's just, wow, how was that? And there's just so many pieces and things that come along. And then we get into Metal Gear Solid 5, which was basically the essence of it ending, and the whole split kind of breakup between Konami and Kojima. And it's just kind of like, oh man, we're never going to get another Metal Gear, Scott, unless we get a remake. I think that's what we're holding on to now at this point. That's the only thing we have left to hold on to, is somehow Sony sweeping in to get us a remake. I'd like to see one reimagined. We saw
Twin Snakes.
Oh, okay. So I never played Twin Snakes because it was on Nintendo, and I didn't have the console at the time to play that. It was GameCube, right?
Oh, I loved it. That was exactly what I needed on my GameCube, and I don't think I've ever bought something on first sight that quickly.
It was just like that, right? Oh man. It unfortunately, it breaks my heart to say that I don't think we'll ever get another Metal Gear game.
Remaster of not Twin Snake, Snake Eater remastered.
Oh, dude,
glorious and beautiful in 4K. As I'm trying not to think about it too hard here, because
well, the bosses, just like the boss fights were so unique. Like the old sniper. Dude, you literally, so I did this on purpose. I heard you can put your controller down and walk away for about a week. And because he's an old guy, he literally like fell asleep. And then he came back and I got him. And it was, dude, like, it was incredible. Just the mind games that these games play on you. And it's just, wow. It's such what a franchise. And
the one that gets me in Twin Snakes is you need a codec to ring Meryl, I believe. And the only hint you get is that it's written on the box. So I searched every single box in the game, and then I realized very last moment, hold on, wait a minute, it's on the back of my game case. What?
Man, that is so cool. Like, it's just so cool. Dude, you can never do that now. Like, seriously, it's on your digital code. That's oh man. But the Twisted Digitals now have us going into the world of Halo Infinite multiplayer. Has been a late breaking issue because the beta might be delayed. Scott, we're supposed to, by the sounds of things, because I got my little thing in the mail saying, hey, you're into the tech test. I was like, yes, happening this weekend. We got the dates. We're already set, ready to go. Well, now there's a late breaking issue that's going on, Halo Infinite's multiplayer, and as such, the studio might have to delay the upcoming multiplayer beta. As part of the Halo Infinite multiplayer live stream on Wednesday, 343's Brian Gerard said that there might be a small shift in the schedule for Halo Infinite's next multiplayer beta. The plan was to launch the beta client yesterday, and then that would go live on Friday, being today. And sounds like there could be a couple other problems. Quote, our hope is that this flight is going to kick off very, very soon. This may or may not happen. We are potentially going to look at a time shift here. We're not quite sure. When it's ready, we'll be ready, Gerard said. We want to be very transparent with you, though. Well, I do love the transparency, Scott. At least they kind of give us how it is, right? We might have a small...
Can't let us...
Well, yeah, leave us hanging, right?
Yeah, no, that's not the right way to do it.
No, absolutely not. We might have a small shift in our schedule, and if we do, we should have more clarity on that at some point in the very near future. For now, teams are working very, very hard. We're still progressing, but we're in a little bit of a holding pattern due to some late breaking issues that we found along the way in this release process. Scott, are you worried at all about the actual release of Halo Infinite this year coming on December 8th?
No, the full release I'm really confident in. I
Are
think
you?
that they're gonna nail that one. Yeah, if there's anything that's gonna have a strong launch window, I think it's Halo. You can rely on that. There's of course going to be some little issues here and there with servers. Hopefully they don't get DDoS. That's the day we live in today.
Yeah,
But
that's for sure, right?
I think this is exactly what the test flight is for, the beta test, if you will. I'm not sure why they call it a flight still.
I don't know.
Not understanding that exact wording, but I mean, to his wording there, if the flight doesn't get off the ground, well, that is kind of worrying, isn't it?
Well, exactly, right? It just seems like they launched the other multiplayer beta test, and that had a lot of issues. We're going in the next one. Now they're talking about delaying this one. It's just
that
like
fruit just didn't blow up well enough.
Well, right, like what's the issue now? They didn't go into any details as to what the issue was that they're facing right now, but just that they have some late breaking issues going on with the build of the game, and rightfully so. The December is still a couple months out yet, so they do have time to polish it up. But that sounds like there's still a lot of polish, and I think they will make the date. I'm curious to see how well everything runs when the date hits, right? That's the biggest
I'm wondering if these guys are running overtime overnights. Is everybody sleeping and working well? Because it's just it really grades on the team eventually, and Halo Infinite is just such high stakes. You have to imagine the pressure is just ridiculous.
Like, they have to be feeling the pressure right now. At this point, we've been waiting so long for Halo. We get a little bit of a tease of what we're getting into. Fans absolutely love that. That's a bit of a throwback to what everybody's been used to for so long for Halo and why they fell in love with the franchise in the first place. So they really can't screw this up, dude. They need to come out swinging. Right, and it's I'm sure they're feeling the pressure. I wonder what crunch is like over there. I know a lot of studios try not to crunch, but when you get to the end of the game, dude, you have a deadline. You need to make these things work. If you come out broken, we all know how that goes. So that's the last thing you can do. So they got to be on, probably getting close to that crunch time, if not already on it now, which is never a good thing. Hopefully they can get it sorted out and have a smooth launch. That would be a nice change, I think, for a lot of people for once.
Yeah, I want to hear that in the news. How the team is just very proud of a clean launch. There has not been enough of that in the past.
No, instead you get day 1 patch, day 2 patch, and week 1, 2, 3 patch. Right, so that's the future we're in right now because of the internet. You can't ship a game now and have it be done. Instead, you put it. But we'll get into a little discussion later about this too and how games are released and things like that. But yeah, for now, let's move on to are we getting a Titanfall game or are we not getting a Titanfall game?
Oh man, I don't know if I like this.
Get ready,
yanking back and forth
because Respawn teases more Titanfall after reports the franchise is on the back burner. Respawn wants you to know it hasn't given up on Titanfall, despite recent reports to the contrary. Yesterday's news outlet, we covered this just the other day, the fact that Respawn community manager Jason Garza said that they're not working on anything right now, Titanfall content related, that they have too much on their plate right now. Well, Respawn Twitter account changed their mind, and they quoted, contrary to what some folks are reporting, Titanfall is the very core of our DNA. Who knows what the future holds?
Okay, well, that has to mean something, right?
Well, and that's so now this has led to everybody speculating that Titanfall 3 is in development. That does not say anything about Titanfall 3. It just says that they will probably have something in the future. That doesn't mean tomorrow. It doesn't mean 3 years from now. It could mean a decade from now. Nobody knows. I think what all they've done there is kind of put a little bit of icing on Jason's wording because they need to sweeten his little blow because he hurt the fans, I think, a little too much. Where Respawn was like, hey, Like, dude, you just threw us under the bus. You can't really do that. So then that's when they took to Twitter to say, no, it's our DNA. Yeah. You're really not working on it. I don't think they're working on it, dude. I really don't think they are.
I don't think they're working on it yet. No. If conceptually, maybe, but
Sure.
Being on the back burner, that could include some sort of concept art, that kind of working, setting the framework for it. But it's not happening for a very long time.
No time soon, dude. I read this article coming up next, and I was like, this one kind of hits with us, Scott, like a lot, because we covered a lot of this content here, and I'm interested to see. It's a bit of a read, so bear with me here. But what's going on is Amazon Games Boss reacts to past struggles. Yeah, it's been a struggle, needless to say, right?
We had a few of those.
Well, yeah, here it is. Retail giant Amazon has been in the business of video games for a long time, but the company's track record has been less than excellent. Not even close to excellent, unfortunately, right? With games like Breakaway, Crucible, and a Lord of the Rings MMO getting canceled, and big name developers like Kim Swift and Clint Hawking leaving the company, while Amazon has struggled. Amazon Games Boss Christoph Hartmann, a former 2K executive, believes the company's best days are ahead of it. Well, that's a positive outlook, I guess. It's something to look forward to, right? I'm still a little whatever. But Hartmann said Amazon's video game development ambitions are like climbing a mountain. Those who climb Everest don't usually get all the way there on their first try. Let's say you need 4 years for a game's development. You also have to build a team, and that takes 2 years. So already, it's 6 years. Yeah, it's not easy trying to make a game. I get that. I understand that. There's a lot that goes into it.
We have a lot of respect for development teams.
Absolutely.
And those kind of scenarios in general. These are all artists as well. So getting the right person at the right position is definitely important. But games are not made in a year. Not anymore.
No, not anymore, man. Like back in the day, you could make a game in like a few months. And that just doesn't happen anymore. But we continues on and says, and then if you're going to try and climb Mount Everest on the first try, you might make it to the top. You might not make it to the top. You go to base camp 1, base camp 2, until you're ready to climb all the way up. So you have to add time to that, which makes a lot of sense. This is what he told GamesIndustry.biz. Amazon's MMO New World, which proved successful in its beta with more than 200,000 concurrent players. Wow, that's impressive to hear, Scott. I'm excited to hear that. We'll show.
Yeah, that's a good one. And
yeah, exactly.
I'm curious as to New World in general. I want to see that come out in full release.
Well, he gets into that as well.
What Amazon can do, really.
No, absolutely, dude. They got deep pockets, and I think the systems to make everything work. I'm just surprised that it hasn't clicked yet. But he gets into why here in a second. Eventually, we'll get judged by our successes, he said. Quote, I really strongly believe in, and this is similar to the way I built 2K. The holy grail is to have owned IP, internal studios, and don't ship things until they're really ready. Some of the titles I worked on, like BioShock, dude, that's a big staple, right?
That's a big one.
Or exactly. Or Borderlands, the love you put into it and the pride you put into it to get these titles as right as you can. It's the same here at Amazon with our internal studios. For Crucible specifically, Hartmann admitted that one of the learnings he took from that game was to hold the game's release back until it's truly ready for market. Quote, for me, that's probably something we should have known better. You don't rush into a territory where you already have clear market leaders, Hartmann said. Quote, we launched Crucible at a time when PUBG and Fortnite were super, super big. It was not the right decision to go into a market segment that has such big players everyone's always chasing. And it's like trying to beat Call of Duty at its peak or trying to do another Grand Theft Auto. Dude, he's got some fantastic points there.
Right? I understand that what he's trying to say, but PUBG and Fortnite do not compete with Crucible, not in the same categories.
No, that's
it's a bit
fair.
Like comparing NBA 2K to
MLB.
Well, let's just go. Yeah, let's just go MLB. It's two completely different things.
They are, but what he's trying to say is when he's trying to capture, because Crucible was a 5 versus 5, right? It was 5, right, Scott?
Yep.
Yeah, it was 5 versus 5. It was a cross between a shooter and a MOBA at the same time, right? With some other elements mixed in. You and I played the crap out of this game, and then all of a sudden it was gone. It was, hello, where'd our game go? And they just that was it, dude. It didn't click. It didn't draw. It didn't jive with a lot of people, unfortunately, which is too bad because you, me, and Andrew, dude, this is what we were playing that every day for a while.
Oh yeah, we got into a regular routine about it, and I was getting more used to the characters and getting into the world of it. I thought it was going to be a great hit, but yeah, I suppose it just did not have the numbers behind it.
Apparently not, right? It didn't have the player base behind it like the PUBGs or Fortnite did at the time. But yeah, it's not a battle royale game at all, really. It is a shooter / MOBA cross, I thought, anyways. But he's trying to compete with leading games that are so big and so already well known. How do you make your game stand out and above the others? I mean, that's one of the biggest struggles when it comes to the video game industry is that, dude, our industry is saturated with games. Like it is so like you can buy a new game every single day. Like not even one. You can buy dozens.
We read out the new releases every single day, and there's more than one, and that's already staggering.
Absolutely. Quote, he says, "We have the advantage that we're not held hostage by quarters or fiscal years like traditional game developers are. So let's do the right thing for the players, not rush it out because, quote, we have to hit October and if we don't have to hit March. Yes, we have to build a business, but we know that sometimes a month or two makes all the difference for a game," Hartman said. He quotes again, "That's what's really matters because we're making a multiplayer service games and they do have to make it in the marketplace for 10 years. So rushing something doesn't make sense," end quote. Scott, it's dude, did you catch that? Games of service, 10 years.
There is definitely a drive for that. I know they said that about Destiny. They said that about Overwatch. Yeah. I believe Fortnite has the same kind of ideology behind it. 10 years, but is there a game that you can recall ever playing for 10 years? I think if I add all of the Call of Duties up, I'm approaching that, but not 10 years. And
dude, the longest Halo, my longest running game probably has got to be Rainbow Six.
Actually, yes, that's a very good point. I'm not sure why I didn't think of that one because
Siege has got to be my most
at least
long.
3 years for myself.
Yeah, I'm probably 4. I'm thinking 4, maybe something like that. 3 or 4, 4 or 5. I don't know. How long has that game been out now? I've been playing it forever, anyways, and I'm still playing it to this day. But either way, Scott, we're man, dude, we only have a few minutes left, buddy. What games are coming out today?
Well, that happened quickly. Yeah,
sure did.
No, we were talking a little bit off camera about games making their way to the Switch, and this is a very interesting one.
Yeah,
The Forgotten City is coming to the Switch
okay,
via digital streaming today. I'm not exactly certain what digital streaming means. I guess you just don't have to download it. That's useful. But this game, we actually do have a review on it. And if you're curious about it at all, I would recommend checking the review out because we give you a little bit of an idea about what it is trying to capture. And I enjoyed it. I'll just leave it at that. That's cool. Going to the Switch is a little out of character, but I like it.
Fair.
We also have, I believe we mentioned this one before, Death Stranding Director's Cut, the sequel.
Yep.
As I like to call it, Death Stranding 1, the sequel. That is now on the PlayStation 5.
Yes.
Where I believe it'll be quite impressive, actually.
Yeah, it will be.
I like to joke, but that game is a piece of art.
Yep.
Now, we also have Dragon Ball Z Kakarot coming to the Switch. And Lost Judgment is releasing on the Xbox One, Series XS, the PlayStation 4, 5, and that's everywhere, not PC.
That's surprising, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought that was.
Yeah, dude, any of those games, obviously the Forgotten City you were a fan of. For me, Death Stranding, I can't. I just can't get into that game. Dude, I tried. I really tried. But I've seen a lot of people posting the reviews of the director's cut, and they're having a great time. It looks fantastic. Like you say though, right? It's an artistic vision. And I think coming out of the Kojima, I'm curious to see what they do next. Do you think we get a sequel?
I want to play it. I think there will be a sequel for sure because it had enough of a very enthusiastic fan response.
Sure.
And it does. I think it just misses the mark for some people because it's not a traditional game in the way that we're used to. It's more of a piece of art. At least that's how I look at it. That's how I explain it.
Sure.
If I go into it playing it expecting an anime sort of storyline and kind of wackiness out there, then it probably is very satisfying.
I'm sure I know a lot of people love it, so it's one of those you either like it or you don't kind of scenario. But Scott, what I do like is the fact that we made another show. So until next week, everybody, enjoy your holidays. I'm Drew, that's Scott, and we'll see you inside the game.